Did you fail today? Did you mess up? Did you fuck up? Did you trip? Did you fail? Did you embarrass yourself? Then say thank you right now. I'll wait. Say thank you. Be thankful right now that you were lucky enough to experience failure. My kids, if you've relapsed, if you've rolled down the hill, if you've hit your head, I've said these phrases before, this is the beauty of it. You're on the way to success, my friends. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. If you haven't failed, if you haven't been making mistakes, have you been really working? Huh? Have you been working? If you ain't fucking up, are you really going out there and working? Right? That, like, I love failure because it lets you know whether you're pussyfooting or not. Right? Are you just dipping your toes into the water? Or did you dive in that motherfucker and just drown? Right? Except this time somebody actually kind of like saved your ass for a bit. Or maybe you're still learning how to swim a bit. But like you look like a complete fool and everyone's laughing at you. Right? What you doing? What are you doing? Huh? Failure is hard to take. I'm probably one of the worst ones when it comes to failure. Because when I fail, even just by a little bit versus a long shot, I take it pretty hard. I always do because I work so hard to make sure that I do so excellent. I really get high expectations. So when I fall, it hurts. It hurts, you know? It's like a phrase, like I could climb to the top of your ego and drop down your IQ and kill myself. It's kind of like that. You could climb to the top of my expectations, and then once I hit failure, it's like jumping off of that building and just hitting it. You're dead. Like, it's bad. Okay? But it's the only way you learn. Without failure, you never take an opportunity to look at your mistakes. I found this out today, right? If you were to just keep constantly succeeding, doing good, nothing went bad, you would never take a look at your flaw. Right? Because let's be honest, we never notice anything wrong. We never take a chance to look at ourselves until shit doesn't seem right. You know? Like for the past 2 rehearsals I had, I felt like I was doing ass, man. Like it was some of the worst acting I had done. I just felt so fucking awful and off. And I had to be critical. I had to be real with myself. Today was alright, you know, but it needs to step up. Right? It's work. When you're failing, it's okay, right? Like I've said before, hard times is the sign that, you know, success is coming your way. Things are going your way. This is something that I actually found pretty interesting. I was talking to my friend the other night, and I told her, when we're at our lowest point, and we're still able to work through that shit, right? When you are at the lowest point, 2 choices will be made. I'm going to give up and not move on. I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to accept the failure and I'm going to leave it. Or you can say, I'm a motherfucking beast. I can fight through this shit. Good things are going to come the way. But I gotta fight through this shit. You gotta fight in order to see success. When you are at your lowest point, right? Did you hear me? When you are at nothing left, when you are at the failure of failures, when you think it couldn't get any worse, that's when that's the transcending bridge on whether you actually see the light again or not. When it is darkest, you know the dawn's coming. But it's only going to show up if you decide to work. See, if you're the pussy that likes to back out because it's at its worst and it just seems like it's going nowhere, you will never see success because you will never learn. You will never be critical with yourself. You will never take honesty to yourself. You will constantly shun it away and say it's not meant for me. But failure is the sign that you're on the right track. Failure is the sign that you've been trying things and they've been going tip-top all around, right? Because we know it ain't no linear path, right? You gotta fuck. You just gotta put it in, man. The lowest point at the darkest hour is the moment where you work harder than you did every single time before that. Because it's easy to work when we're hyped up. It's so fucking easy. It is so easy to work when we're on a happy path. So easy. But when we're dark and we can't see, we hungry, we're starving, we don't like to say a lot then, do we? Because the only thing we're so focused on is survival. At least you should be. The moment that it's the hardest is the moment you should be going the hardest. The moment where you feel like giving up is the moment you should not. If you failed, learn, accept, understand that you failed, right? Hold yourself accountable and go again. And again, and again, and again, and again. And that's what I did on NoFap for that year. I kept failing and failing. And I experienced those ruts where I just couldn't make it out. And I just kept going. But I kept going and trying when I could. And just trying to make sure that one day I was going to get it right. And I finally got it right. Finally got that semen retention going on a daily basis. Had I given up and said NoFap wasn't for me and just backed off, this YouTube wouldn't even exist right now. So, when it is the lowest point, if you decide to work through your lowest point, it'll be nothing but sunshine after. And then eventually you'll hit your next failure. And then when you hit that low point, when you decide to work through that shit, the sunshine's gonna come again. And when the clouds hit, you work through it, and the sun shines again. It's not going to end unless you put it at an end. Sunshine's coming, fellas. Keep working. You owe it to yourself to go through the hard times. Let me tell you this. If you're not going through hard times, you're not making it work. So, be thankful for failure right now. And promise yourself that you're going to continue to work because sunshine's on the way. Talk to y'all later.